Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode today, I will be telling you about why coming to study in Canada still remains one of the fastest and the best way if you plan to come into Canada in the year 2023. So you want to hang on, stay tuned, grab a cup of water. If coffee is what you like, grab it. I will be back. Okay viewers, so welcome back to my YouTube channel. I still remember my humble self, MC Bernardino. This is Canada Reality, where I dish out content for those that are already in Canada and those that are aspiring to migrate into Canada. Is this your first time on this YouTube channel? Please do me the honor, hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and please share this video with whoever you feel will benefit from it. And for our returning viewers, thank you very much for believing in us. God bless you. Alright, so just like I said in the introduction, that I'll be telling you about why I feel that in the year 2023, if you're outside Canada, you want to come into Canada, why I feel coming through study will be one of the fastest and easiest way if you're coming to Canada. So let's go for that by dissecting what I mean by this. So if you've seen my last video, the first video that I did in the year 2023, I talked about how you can come into Canada in the year 2023, and study is one of those ways that I mentioned in that video. So, and I promised in that video that I'll be dissecting each pathway so that you can further understand what I mean. So now I'm taking on the study. So what do we mean by study? Coming to study in Canada simply implies that you want to leave your home country and you want to come and study in Canada. That's just a simple definition of that. And what do you need? How do you go about it? The first thing you want to do if you plan to come and study in Canada in the year 2023 is to first get an admission, get admitted in a school in Canada. What you have to do is you have to just go online, get your laptop, and apply to schools. If you have the credentials, go through the requirement, apply to those schools, and if you can get the admission, that is one leg up. So if you've gotten the admission, okay, now some people might want to ask me this question: that what course should I go for? How many years program should I go for? It has implication, and it's a very good question. In Canada, if you study for 1 year, if you do a 1 year program, then you are entitled to a 1 year postgraduate after you're done studying. And if you do minimum of 2 years program, you're entitled to a 3 years postgraduate work permit. I always advise, if you have the financial capability, it is better for you to do a 2 years minimum program so that you can get a 3 years postgraduate work permit, because it helps when you start looking for a job that will enable you to apply for your permanent resident. If you need further clarification on that, feel free to drop those questions. I can further explain on that. And also, you can also go to my playlist, because I've done videos in the past about this. So with that answer, so now if you've gotten the admission, I always further advise people that it is not enough for you to get an admission letter, and when you're applying for your visa, just include that in the application. You can do better by also paying the tuition fee. So take for instance, if the tuition fee is 16,000 Canadian dollars, then I advise you, if you can't pay all the 16,000, probably you're not financially buoyant, it is better you pay part of it. Minimum, you can pay half of it, get a receipt from the school, so that when you apply for the visa, that will be an additional benefit, because you're including the offer letter and you're also including the school receipt in the application. So after you've done that, the next thing will now be for you to apply for the visa. So in applying for the visa, there are so many things you need. You need your international passport, you need the admission letter from the school. If you've paid the tuition fee, you need the receipt from the school, you need to do your police clearance, you need to get your proof of fund, which is very private. People ask me, how much should I put in the proof of fund? I mean, it is not cast in stone how much you need to put in the proof of fund, but the more the better. So I always break it down by saying that, take for instance, if the tuition fee is 16,000, just like I earlier used as an example, and you've paid 8,000, you've gotten the receipt from the school, the remaining 8,000 Canadian dollars needs to be in your bank account. And in addition to this, Canada government believe that as an international student, you can survive in Canada with 10,000 Canadian dollars in a year. So you need to show proof of that 10,000 Canadian dollars. So when you add 10,000 to 8,000, that's 18,000 Canadian dollars. All you have to do is multiply that with your currency and see how much that accumulates to. That's the minimum you need to have in your bank account. So when you've gotten all these documents and everything you need, I mean, there are so many other documents you need to, you might want to go to my playlist and see my past videos on this. So when you've gotten this document, then the next thing that you need to do is to go on IRCC website and apply for the visa. Okay, so in applying for the visa, fill this form, submit those documents, and keep your fingers crossed while you submit your document. So I always say, in terms of timeline, it is better for you to apply early. The minimum you can do is at least 5-6 months before your school resumes, because of the long wait now that people have to wait. Sometimes some people apply so late that at the end of the day their school has resumed and they are still in their home country. At the end of the day, they have to defer their admission, because I've seen cases like that. So that's why it's always better that you should apply 5 or 6 months before your school resume. And in some cases whereby you apply 5-6 months before your school resume and IRCC still didn't get back to you, it is better for you to now defer your admission so that you don't lose the admission while still waiting for IRCC, because definitely for you to apply, IRCC will for sure get back to you. So while waiting, the moment you submit your application, the next thing the IRCC will tell you within 24 hours of submitting is to go do your biometrics. So just book your biometrics, wherever the home country you're applying from, book your biometric and go do your biometric. And likewise too, I always tell people, if you can do your medical too, you don't have to wait for IRCC to tell you to go do your medical, but if you wait for them to tell you months after your application to go do your biometric, they give you timeline to do that, you might not be able to book a medical center metric, and it might affect the whole process. So it is better for you to, if you do your biometric, if you can book your medical to get it done, there's a way the hospital is going to send it to IRCC, and you don't have to worry about that. So if you can get that done too, that can also help to fast track your application. Okay, so now let's talk about what are the chances of getting these study permits approved. Yes, it is not automatic that you get it approved. All you can do is, as long as you submit the required document and you can get the right package done, there's a huge possibility that your application will be approved. And also in the last 3 to 4 months, I can tell you that the rate at which Canada immigration is getting study permits approved, I mean, it's a little bit on the increase as compared to what we used to have it before. And also don't forget that Canada already said that this year 2023, they plan to bring in 465,000 immigrants into Canada. And this is just the beginning of the year. So they might be ramping up these numbers now. So that is why it's better for you to apply now, so that you might be among the few and lucky ones that will be coming to Canada in this year 2023. And in addition to these two, it is better for you to apply if you want to come into Canada. The best admission that you should be looking at should be September. Why September? September because that is the most comprehensive admission in the year. That is when you have all the courses available. So it is better for you to start applying now, because those courses, September admission is getting filled up very fast in most schools. So you want to try as much as possible, get a computer now and start getting all the required documents and applying to those schools now, because sometimes it takes 2 or 3 months in some cases for some schools to get you the admission letter. And don't forget, you still have to pay the tuition fee. You have to wait for the receipts also. So that is why the best time to do it is yesterday. So get on your computer and start doing it now. So some of you might also ask me this question that, oh, should I come for a diploma? Should I come for postgraduate? Should I come for advanced diploma? Should I come for master's, PhD? Well, in answering that question, everything is still on you, because you know your previous educational background and you know what you want in life, you know what you want to do now. So that depends on you. But I will tell you, based on experience, that the fastest, when you compare masters and postgraduate, it is easier for you to get the postgraduate admission than masters. I'm not saying you can't get a master's admission, but what I'm just trying to say in essence is that the requirement for you to get a master's admission is a little bit on the high side. There are so many things that they will ask from you. As long as you have it, then bingo, you can get the admission. But on the other side, postgraduate is a little bit more lenient in terms of the requirement they ask. And when you want to do your PhD too, the requirement is also much there. We have people that come to Canada to come and do this, so do not be discouraged to come. If you feel master's is what you want, PhD is what you want, why not apply for those admissions, and you can find yourself in Canada as soon as possible. So now, before I close, let's talk about what are the benefits of coming to study in Canada. Canada for sure remains one of the few countries globally that has a pathway for international students to become a permanent resident and eventually become a Canadian citizen. So if you study, I'm a product of that, and so many of my friends are product of that too. If you study in Canada, after your study, you get a postgraduate work permit, you get a good job. From there, 1 year experience is all you need, and you can apply for Canadian Experience class, you can apply for provincial nominee in whichever province you are. And from there, within 2-3 years, you can get your permanent resident. And after that, few years again, you can get your Canadian citizen. That is how most of us international students in Canada, that was how we started. And that's how you can also start too. So that is another advantage why you should come to Canada as an international student. Now, let me answer this question, because some people might want to ask me that, oh, I'm married, I have kids, how do I go about it? Should I apply together with my kids? Should I apply with my wife? And blah, blah, blah. So it is very important to know that one of the strongest reasons why rejection is alarming in terms of study permit is that if you do not have a ties to back home, that might be a reason why your application might be rejected. So it is very imperative that if you're married, you can use your, like, take for instance, if the husband wants to come for study, then the wife and kids can stay back home as a house to back home. So you do not have to do everybody application once, because it might limit your chances. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but just to increase the chances and to have house to back home, that would be a very good thing to break it down. So you come first, then within 6 months to 1 year of you coming, your spouse, your kids can also come and join you in Canada. Alright, I've tried as much as possible to break this down for you, but I know in one way or the other I might not be able to have answered some of the questions that are yawning in your mind, some of the things you want me to address. I might have not addressed it. But feel free to drop those questions in the comment section. I will do as much as possible to answer those questions. And also, likewise, you can also do good for yourself by going online to research also how you can actually go about it. If you feel you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Follow me on my Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Canada Reality. Ask me those questions, and I will do justice to those questions. If you enjoyed this video, please smash on the like button, because it helps YouTube's algorithm to share our videos with more and more people. So please hit on the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Till I come back to you again on this YouTube channel, I remain your one and only MC Bernardino. Stay safe. It is well with you.